Ben with the Sin Off-Road. We wanted to show you our new dual swing out rear bumper for the Land Cruiser 250. We built this last week, I guess, and we took it to SEMA, so we've been a little quiet about it. Now we're back from SEMA, so I wanted to show you some features of this bumper if you're not familiar with our rear bumpers. So first off, this was a pretty tricky platform. Lots of plastics. The frame is shaped kind of goofily. So we really struggled to keep it not looking super chunky, and I think we did a pretty good job at that. So if we look down here, you can kind of see how we achieve that. So this is actually the frame. It drops down in here, and then the hitch itself drops down as well. So we actually raised the bumper above the frame. We put our frame bracket and our recovery point down there. So that really slims the aesthetic of the bumper up quite nicely. We've got all our parking sensors in, our blind spot monitors, and then we've got a combo lamp. So because we're partially covering our taillights, this is going to be a stop, tail, turn, reverse light. Everything functioned. We drove it all the way to Vegas, about an 8-hour drive both ways. All the radar, all the sensors, everything worked great. We've also relocated our backup camera here, so we will show you the views of the camera. That's been a question we've been asked multiple times, is how is the camera still functional? So we'll show you how that looks in the monitor with the 360. Also, surprisingly, the rear view camera up here doesn't really pick up a ton of this. It does catch a tire, but it's still very usable. You can still see your blind spot behind you, so we'll show you that as well. But just if you're not familiar, I want to show you some of the features of our swing outs. So these are the same swing outs, same accessories as all of our other bumpers. Everything we offer will work on this bumper. And we have a slam style, so our latches really make a difference. So it's a slam style latch, super simple, not a ton of moving parts. It is simple as opening and shutting like so. We got soft close, soft open. We got a rubber bump stop here. So this is what actually sets the preload on that latch, keeps you from rattling when you shut it. Gas assist strut, so there's no pins, anything like that. This will hold you open on a side hill. All of our tire carriers come with a little flip up table. That's just part of it. These are, and all of our bumpers are actually a steel aluminum hybrid. So what that means is the bumper on this particular one is all steel. Our swing arm is all steel, yet most of these accessories are aluminum. So we're able to cut a decent amount of weight right there. This side, we've got our Overland Pro panel. So what that is you get the outer surface here. You can see we've got our power tank mounted, our roto packs. I don't have anything mounted in here yet, but we've got this storage compartment, which is super nice. You can put like an ARB jack, fire extinguisher, propane cylinder. Really, the options are endless for what you can mount in there. And then we've got that door on gas struts as well, and it locks at the latch here. The other cool thing is, even with that on there, you can see we just clear our hatch. So you can still open that up with the hatch open. And then obviously we got our table, which is quite useful if you're cooking out of the back of this here, or if you got a drawer system and a kitchen. So we'll close all this up and then talk a little bit on the styling as we walk around the sides. So again, we'll just kind of show you how simple it is to just shut everything down. That's one thing with all of our products, is we aim to make it so easy to use that you actually want to use it. Some of these swing outs are such a pain in the butt to open and close, and we wanted to make ours easy to do so. So as we walk around the side, you can kind of see the lines, the shape of the bumper. We were able to follow it pretty nicely, I think, and cut some corners off of the bumper, chamfer those edges to give it more clearance, but also just aesthetically to make that rear end not look so chunky. The resonator does hang down a good bit. I know MagnaFlow actually has an exhaust system for these vehicles available now, so we'll probably upgrade to that. That'll tuck that tailpipe up there nice and tight. All of your factory towing accommodations remain in place. So we keep the factory hitch, we keep the cross member. There's no cutting of the metal. Actually, I take that back. We have a little bit of sheet metal cutting on the lower pinch weld. Just a couple tabs need to come off there. Pretty simple to do so. And then some minor plastic trimming around this upper corner here. We were going to go with a full replacement and bring this up. it just made it look a little too chunky. So we decided to keep some of that plastic there. I think it aesthetically looks a little bit better and slims that bumper down. All right, so moving on to our new front bumper. I know you guys have seen some teaser pictures of this, but we wanted to kind of go through some of the details on there. I don't think we've really put that out there yet. So this is a kind of an in-between, a low profile and a high clearance bumper. We did gain quite a bit of clearance on this one, but we didn't go all the way up. We didn't cut the sheet metal like we did on our teal one. So this replaces the center section, and then these wings actually bolt on separately. There is going to be cutting of the plastics on this one. That is really unavoidable on a front bumper. For any front bumper you put on these, you're going to have to cut those plastics. However, we did not have to cut any metal or sheet metal on this one. We've retained, again, all the proximity sensors. We got a spot to relocate the front camera if yours has it. Your radar is unaffected, so it stays in the grill here. The active grill shutter is unaffected. All that stuff is remains functional. We've got our come up solo 9.5 winch in here that tucks in quite nicely. As you can see here too, we've got a tie-in skid plate. So that bolts to the bottom of the bumper, ties into either your factory skid plate, or we will be offering skid plates soon as well. One thing we've got called out on a couple times, I guess, is that the lack of recovery points. But I wanted to be clear, there is still recovery points. We've just got them down here. So to keep a clean look, we decided not to put them here. And we've moved them to the strongest point of the bumper and the frame, which is directly in line from this bolt point on the frame. So again, that's going to give you your strongest point of recovery to be used for kinetic recoveries or any type of recovery. If we were to put it up here in the bumper, that's just a lot of leverage on your frame, not a good point to do a kinetic recovery from. So keeping that down, keeping our winch down as low as possible to those frame mounts is going to be the strongest solution. Also, one thing kind of cool, we 3D printed these housings. We do have this available to reuse the factory fog lights. So whether that's the rigid or the fog lights that come in the 1958, you can reuse those, plug and play, super nice feature. Okay, so we're going to show the views of the cameras after they've been relocated. So first we'll notice up there. So you can obviously see the tire. We don't really see that panel much at all. And this is a 35-inch tire, so if you were running a 34 or smaller, you'd see a lot less of that. But again, still very usable camera. And we'll go to reverse. So you can see visibility-wise, we're actually doing pretty good there. Because we changed the angle of the camera slightly, you can see the lines are kind of pointed upward. But this also allows, when we have a hitch in there, to see the hitch and hitch a trailer up. So this is a great position for being able to see everything, but also to hitch your trailer. We can see the front. Let's go into drive, hit the view button. So front camera, we're catching a little bit of the recess for the camera. We've actually changed that a hair, so we see less of these edges. But as you can see, the visibility is still quite good. Our 360 has a little bit of a weird void in the back here, but overall still pretty functional. You see the parking sensors lighting up as we get close. Lines still work. All right, so yeah, in closing, we will have the front bumper's already live on our website. The rear bumper should be live in the coming weeks. We got a few little tweaks to do on that, and we'll have it live up there. If you do order a front bumper, we will be able to add the rear bumper to that order, save you on some shipping. So definitely reach out. Sales@Descent Off-Road for any questions, or to sign up for the email list. We can keep you updated with all the progress on the Land Cruiser 250 product. But be sure to give us a follow if you want to see more of this.